Hi, my name is Mitchell Hillis. I'm a fifth-year kinesiology student. Today, we are going to talk a bit about what a deadlift is and how to perform a proper rep of a conventional deadlift. First off, a deadlift is a very conventional full-body exercise. Due to the exercise being a multi-joint exercise, the extension of the knees, hips, and back, we work the majority of our major muscle groups. This includes our glutes, hamstrings, quads, and even the erector spinae and the lats of our upper body. The deadlift is a very popular exercise due to its reputation of developing pure strength as well as its adaptability. There are many different types of deadlift variations, such as sumo deadlifts, single leg deadlifts, deadlifts using a barbell or a dumbbell, and even variations such as the Romanian deadlift. We are going to focus on a conventional deadlift today, but these different types of deadlift variations can be done by all different types of people, from elite athletes to everyday gym goers. The deadlift is a great exercise to become familiar and efficient at due to its everyday applications, such as lifting something off the ground or standing up from a seated position. Having proper form while doing a deadlift not only allows us to reinforce good movement patterns, such as lifting something off the ground or coming from a seated position that we do every day, but can also prevent injury in doing these movements. This is because a lot of people hurt their backs lifting heavy things off the ground because they don't know how to properly do it, as well as people in the gym tend to do deadlifts with improper form. In this instructional video, you will see a deadlift with poor form, followed by corrections, and then a deadlift with proper form. So let's go hit the gym. When we're doing a deadlift, we want to have our feet about shoulder width apart. So if you want to line your feet up shoulder width apart, your feet can primarily be facing straight. Okay. Then when we get down into with our hand position, your hands can be just outside your knees, so your elbows are almost touching your knees. You can do either hang grip or alternating grip, whichever feels most comfortable to you. Okay. So then in this position, with our hip height, it's kind of a personal preference with height, except we don't want our lumbar spine to be flexed. We want it to be nice and neutral, as well as our upper spine here. So a couple cues to help that is you want to flex your lats, right? Try to retract your shoulders, so we're not rounded shoulders like such. Nice hip position, nice flat back. If we were to have a dowel here, we would want it to be sitting nice and flat. With our shins as well, we want our shins to be as vertical as possible. So there's obviously not a lot of weight here right now, but for him, he would have more weight and he'd be able to lean back more. Head, so head is a little flex now. We want it maybe a little bit more neutral. And then when we pull, we want to try to read what's on his chest right now. So his chest wants to come up. We don't want to flex and have a rounded back like we saw in the first demonstration. So then if we just want to do one rep, what he wants to do is he wants to have his knees and his hips extending simultaneously while keeping the bar as close to his shins and quads as possible. The further out the bar gets, the further his center of gravity is going to get forward, and the lift will probably be incomplete. So if you just want to try a rep, it's proper. Good. One last thing I forgot to mention. You just want to get into your one more thing, is to take the tension out of the bar. So if he wants to pull up a little bit without the actual weights coming off the floor, this allows for the slack on the bar to come out. So when he's pulling it right off the ground instead of in a jerking motion, which could hurt his back. Nice. Okay, and that's how you successfully do a deadlift. Okay, so like we mentioned, we want his feet a bit shoulder width apart. They could be a bit wide, they could be a bit narrow, depending on how his preferences are. And then his hands, like we said, can be either hang grip or alternated. I think Kyle prefers to be alternated grip, just the way he likes things. And then back to the shin angle and the arm placement. His elbows want to almost be right on the outside of his knees. This allows for not a lot of wasted movement, and as well as the shins vertical, as vertical as possible, so we're not trying to pull from an extended position with our center of gravity forward. So if you just want to do a good rep, nice, and watch his writing on his chest. We want to try to read that as he comes up. Nice. We're going to do one more. And just notice, if you can notice, his knees and his hips. He's going to extend his knees and his hips at the same time, while the bar stays as close to his shins and his quads as possible. And then at the very top, he's going to push his hips through and extend, and that's a completed rep. Okay, now that you've watched the video and seen what a deadlift should and should not look like, I'm going to give you a few of the important things to focus on while performing the lift. First one is you want tight abdominals. You want to brace right before you're about to start the lift until the completion of the lift and you've dropped the weight. The second is the feet straight forward, as I mentioned in the video, as well as a neutral back. You want your head up or neutral. Your hips want to be higher than your knees. Your shoulders should be at the barbell, if not a little bit in front, and your elbows should be turned out. Now that you have the keys to a successful deadlift, we are almost ready to let you off on your own. But before that, I want to go over 2 easy adaptations you can do if one of these keys is too difficult. That'll still allow you to successfully complete a proper deadlift. A lot of people struggle with bracing themselves or having tight abdominals, and what you'll probably see a lot of people do is wear a weightlifting belt. This helps you increase the interthoracic pressure and relieve some pressure on your lower back if you cannot create it yourself. So if you find that you can't create that pressure yourself, by all means use a belt. It'll help a lot, and people even find they can lift heavier while using a belt. And the second one is that if people find that they can't get low enough in their stance before starting the deadlift, is that they'll put weights underneath to raise the bar a bit, or they'll use a low rack. This just helps you complete the major part of the lift without having to get into as deep of a position as you would if the weights were on the ground. Okay, now you're all set to go off on your own and to add deadlifts into your workouts. Just one thing to remember, that form is always the most important, and that trumps weight any day of the week. So have fun and good luck.